Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of our English podcast for beginners. We're so glad you're here with us because this is the place where you can learn simple, useful English that you can actually use in daily life.
That's right. Learning English doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the best way to practice is by talking about your everyday routine. And today, we'll guide you step by step through the kind of sentences you can use when you talk about your day.
We'll share easy examples, little tips, and even questions you can practice with a friend. Think of it as learning English in the most natural way, by using the language to describe the things you already do every single day.
So, let's get started with the very beginning of the day, your morning routine. This is something we all have, and it's a great way to practice speaking in English.
Every day begins with small actions, and these are perfect for practicing simple English sentences. For example, when you wake up, you can say, I wake up at 7 o'clock, or I get up early in the morning. Notice the difference. Waking up means opening your eyes, but getting up means leaving the bed.
That's a really good point. Beginners often mix those up, but it's easy to remember if you think about it this way. Wake up is when your alarm rings. Get up is when you actually stand up. You can try repeating both. I wake up at 7 a.m. I get up at 7:15. It already sounds like a natural part of a daily conversation.
Then comes brushing your teeth, washing your face, and getting dressed. These are simple actions, but if you connect them in a sequence, you can describe your whole routine. For example, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, then I get dressed. Adding then makes the story flow smoothly.
Yes, and you can also add details to make it more personal. For example, I brush my teeth with a blue toothbrush, or I eat breakfast with my family. Beginners sometimes forget that small details make English sound natural and interesting.
Breakfast is another good topic. You can say, I eat bread and eggs, or I drink tea in the morning. If you don't eat breakfast, you can practice by saying, I don't eat breakfast, or I only drink coffee. Simple positive and negative sentences are really useful in daily conversations.
And remember, you can even ask questions about routines, like, what time do you wake up? Or what do you eat for breakfast? These are friendly and natural ways to start conversations in English.
After the morning routine, the next big part of the day is usually work, school, or study. This is where you can practice a lot of useful English because you do these activities almost every day. For example, you can say, I go to work at 9 o'clock, or I go to school by bus. Even a simple sentence like, I start class at 8 is a good way to share your daily routine.
Exactly. And you can also practice using different verbs depending on how you get there. For instance, I walk to school, I take the train to work, or I drive to the office. Beginners often forget that using the correct verb makes the sentence sound clear and natural.
Once you arrive, you can talk about what you do. For example, I study English, I read books, I write emails, or I answer phone calls. These short, simple actions are the building blocks of English conversation. And if you add time words like in the morning or in the afternoon, your sentences sound even better. For example, I read emails in the morning, or I study English in the afternoon.
You can also describe people you meet. For example, I talk to my teacher, I meet my classmates, or I have lunch with my coworkers. These are really useful because they connect your activities with people around you.
Yes, and don't forget questions. If you want to practice, you can ask, "What time do you start work?" Or, "Do you go to school every day?" These are friendly questions that you can try with friends or even with us in your mind while listening.
And to make it fun, you can try making a small story about your day at work or school. For example, I go to school at 8, I study math, I play with my friends, and I go home at 2. It's simple, but it gives you a chance to practice English as if you're telling someone about your life.
After work, school, or study, most people have some free time, and this is a wonderful way to practice English because hobbies and activities are easy to talk about. For example, you can say, "I watch TV in the evening," or "I play football after school." These are short, simple sentences, but they help you describe your daily life clearly.
And you don't have to keep it too simple. You can add details. For example, instead of just saying, I read books, you can say, I read English books in the evening, or I read storybooks before bed. Adding small words makes your English sound more natural and personal.
Yes, and let's give more examples. You could say, "I listen to music when I relax." "I cook dinner with my family." Or, "I go shopping in the afternoon." These are everyday activities that almost everyone can relate to, so they're very useful for practicing conversations.
Beginners often forget to connect sentences, but you can use words like and or after to make your story flow. For example, I play games on my phone and then I eat dinner. Or after dinner, I watch TV with my brother. Connecting sentences makes it sound like a real story.
You can also practice asking questions about hobbies, because this is one of the easiest ways to start a friendly conversation. You could ask, "What do you do in your free time?" Or, "Do you like playing games?" Questions like these are simple, but can lead to longer conversations.
And remember, free time activities are fun to share because everyone's routine is different. Some people say, I go to the gym, while others say, I paint pictures or I learn English podcasts. Practicing these sentences not only improves your vocabulary, but also gives you confidence to talk about yourself.
Now, let's talk about feelings and experiences, because it's not just about what you do, but also about how you feel during the day. For example, after school or work, you might say, "I feel tired," or "I am happy today." These short sentences are powerful because they show emotion, and emotions make your English sound real.
That's true. And you can make them even stronger with simple words like very or a little. For example, I feel very tired or I am a little hungry. These small changes help you describe your experience more clearly.
Another word that's useful is because. You can connect your feeling with a reason. For example, I am happy because I met my friend. Or I am tired because I studied a lot. This makes your English more natural, and it tells a small story.
Let's give some daily life examples. You can say, I was busy at work today, or I was excited in class, or I was bored at home. These are common feelings everyone understands, so they're easy to practice.
You can also use questions to ask about someone else's experience. For example, how was your day? Or did you feel happy today? These are friendly questions, and they help you connect with people in English.
Sometimes it's fun to answer with short stories. For example, my day was great. I played football and I won the game. I felt very excited. Or, my day was boring. I stayed at home and did nothing. Even simple stories like these are excellent practice.
The more you practice feelings and experiences, the easier it becomes to express yourself in English. Instead of only saying what you did, you can share how it felt, and that makes conversations more interesting. At the end of the day, we usually do things that help us relax and prepare for tomorrow. Talking about this part of your routine in English is just as important as morning or work. For example, you can say, I eat dinner at 8 o'clock, or I take a shower before bed. These are simple, but they show what happens in your evening.
And you can add more details to make it sound natural. For example, I watch a movie after dinner, or I read a book before I sleep. Many people like to say, I spend time with my family, or I talk to my friends on the phone. These sentences are really common and easy to practice.
One very useful phrase for ending the day is, I go to bed at. You can say, I go to bed at 10 o'clock, or I go to bed late on weekends. It's also good to practice the difference between go to bed and sleep. Go to bed means you lie down, but sleep is when you actually fall asleep.
That's a great point. And this is also the perfect time to practice reviewing your whole day in English. For example, today I woke up at 7, I went to school, I studied math, I played football, I ate dinner, and I went to bed. It's like telling a short story of your life in simple English.
You can also ask questions at night, like, how was your day? Or, what did you do today? These are very natural, and they help you connect with others in English.
So, if you want to keep improving, try speaking about your whole day in English every evening. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, follow us for more lessons, and keep practicing with us every day because the more you practice, the more confident you will become.